what we are going to, or what we hope to achieve after this very marathon broadcast, is a very comprehensive presentation that will lay bare to the understanding of the entirety of humanity the evil that Fulani Janjaweed is importance for everybody. After this evening, there will be no doubt. What we have cleverly done, or what we intend to do, is that I will post the relevant links and videos on my page on Facebook. So if you are in doubt that Fulani are playing games with all of you, you will go to my page and go through all I'm about to say this evening. They have brought the attack here once again, but it's not going to work with us. They have tried to use incumbent politicians to do their bidding, but they have failed. Listen carefully. Get your pen and your paper. Very, very critical. Today will be a landmark broadcast, and you'll remember it forever and ever. After this program this evening, I would like our people who are well versed in these things to translate what I'm about to say into different languages, that people in other parts of the damnable Zoological Republic of Nigeria may be able to follow what we are saying and what we are doing. I want this very program translated into Hausa, into Yoruba, into TV. If Jukun has a separate language, we're also going to do the same for them, to enable people who are dwelling in rural areas to understand our mission, to understand what IPOB is doing, because there seems to me to be a lot of distortion. Nigerian newspapers do not report the truth. They are not objective. This brown envelope journalism of the very worst kind. What we are about to do this very evening is to outline why we are doing what we are doing. Because they travel to the Janjaweed North, or should I say to the Janjaweed controlled North. They lie to them. NNAMDI Kanu IPOB wants to break up Nigeria, wants to make your life a misery. Tonight we are saying it is a lie. They have been lying to you. They say NNAMDI Kanu is against everybody. He calls you animals, doesn't have regard for you. I am telling you now that your leaders and your elders, they are lying to you. Biafra. They are deceiving you. They understand that only through what we are doing will you be set free. As I said a few weeks ago, there are over 200 ethnic minorities, should I say ethnic majorities in the North, because nobody can be a minority in his own home or in the land of his or her ancestors. You cannot be a minority. That is why I don't believe in all this minority gibberish. Listen very carefully to what I have to say to you. IPOB is not against you. I want you to write what I'm saying down. In every part of the world, God Almighty in heaven, in his infinite mercy and wisdom, have always chosen one race to carry out any of his blessings, or should I say undertaking, at any point in history. What am I trying to say? When God wanted to develop Southeast Asia, he used Japan. When Elohim wanted to industrialize the world, he used Britain. It was called the industrial, first the agricultural revolution, and then the industrial revolution. When Elohim wanted to educate the world as to the, should I say, niceties or benefits of social media, should I say, the internet and all the rest of it, the virtual world, so to speak, he brought in the US. When Chukwuemeka Biama wanted to make mobile phones available to everybody, he brought Nokia. I think that's in Finland. Mass production. When Elohim wanted the cost of goods and services to be reduced drastically, that poor people living in Africa can afford to have a flat screen television, he brought China for mass production. Now listen to me very carefully. The time has come. God Almighty wants to liberate not just Biafra, not just those who are in the zoo, but the whole of Africa. And you know what God has done? He has chosen Biafra to do it. Because without Japan, today China wouldn't be great. The first roaring economy from that part of the world in Southeast Asia was was Japan. Now South Korea, Taiwan, all the rest of them, everybody had to emulate, to copy. Do you know the reason why? Because when you go begging from Southeast Asia Today you have Malaysia, you have Indonesia, you have Singapore. Everybody is doing fantastically well because they had a Japan to look up to. Follow me very carefully. Jealousy, envy, or hatred doesn't solve this very simple conundrum. It's very simple, but I want you to understand it. That is how God works. When God wanted to liberate South Africa, he brought Nelson Mandela, brought Steve Biko, of course. There are other people that will come along. When God wanted to liberate black people, not just in America, but the whole world to an extent, he went for Martin Luther King Jr. And the person who connived or betrayed Martin Luther King Jr. even slapped him in front of his hotel. It was in Memphis. It was a black woman. The fact that you can go to the US today and get a job, the fact that they can go to the US today and, should I say, fly even first class in an aircraft, in an aeroplane, is down to the work that Martin Luther King Jr. did, and also Malcolm X and all the rest of them. Of course, I concede to Prophet Elijah Muhammad. They did a very good job as well. Louis Farrakhan, to an extent, did a very good job. So also did, what's his name again? I've forgotten his name. When it comes back to me, I will tell you. They all did fantastically well. That is why you can go to the US and find a very good job. When it comes to Africa, God Almighty in heaven, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, have chosen Biafra. So Biafra can never ever be against anybody. And let me tell you something. Once Biafra becomes free, everybody becomes free. Those harping on about one Nigeria, or the, should I say, the unsustainability of one Nigeria, are those who are benefiting from it. They are your governors. Remember a few weeks ago I told you that anytime somebody assumes office in Nigeria, if you're telling them about what would benefit the society or our children unborn, they will tell you, not under my watch. Go to what Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, said today. Go and read it. Exactly what I told you a few days ago. That is why the most dangerous person in front of you is a politician in Nigeria. Not the old woman in your village or the tree that is over 2,000 years old. No. The destiny destroyers you have, in fact, in the whole of Africa, are politicians. Because they are evil. They are doing the work of Satan. You may not believe me, but ask yourself this very simple question. Which African country is doing very well? Just please explain to me. Is it South Africa? You want to say South Africa? Go there and see what is happening. Or what has been happening since the white people left leadership. Now is the time for us to be free. I want to reiterate under oath, because I am always under oath 24 hours a day. If the oil and gas from Biafra land is your problem, I swear before God Almighty in heaven, on my honor, my life, and that of my family, that I will distribute oil and gas from Biafra land for free to the entire West African sub-region. For free. Do you know why? So that their economies can grow as well. We need people to buy our goods and our services. Why do you think America gives grants to people all over the world? Why do you think the EU gives grants? Even China gives grants to everybody. Even Australia. Why? Because poor people cannot buy Range Rover. Do you understand it? They need to help you inadvertently to grow your economy so you can have the spending power to buy the goods and services that they produce. It is called common sense. It is not stupidity. I can assure each and every component ethnic group in Nigeria today, this evening, all those of you who are listening, all those of you who are watching and listening, that Biafra will not abandon anybody. We want all of you to be free. You all can remember very clearly what happened between 67 and 70, because every time we talk about our eternal leader, the great Dame Chukwemeka Ojukwu. Why I am doing this program this evening is not to allow what happened in the past to repeat itself. Ojukwu did not declare Biafra because he wanted to. Ojukwu went to Aburi to negotiate for, what's it called, restructuring. And he succeeded in negotiating for a restructured Nigeria back to regions. Listen very carefully. On the ride from their hotel to the airport, I think it was Ankara, who was the then military junta ruling Ghana. Ojukwu and Gowon were best of friends. Ojukwu said, when we go back to Lagos, I will be the person to nominate Yakubu Gowon as the head of state. I hope all of you are following what I'm saying. Ojukwu never declared Biafra. Britain scuttled it because Britain did not want any of you to become developed. They didn't want you to control your own economy. They never wanted you to have a life of your own. They wanted to, this big daddy mentality is us who made you, we created you. You are what you are today because of us. You are nobody. We made you. They love it. So every time we'll be crying, Africa needs aid. Africa needs help. Give them grant. There is vaccine. Why don't you help them? There is polio. There is malaria. Let's help them. They look at us as imbeciles who cannot fend for themselves. They love it. You know that feeling you have, that rankadede feeling when beggars are coming to your house and begging you, you'll be feeling very proud and very big. That's the mentality they have. They knew that Ojukwu would have destroyed that. That was why they hated him. Ojukwu only declared Biafra because Gowon reneged on restructuring. Gowon said, no, we are not going to restructure. And Ojukwu said, this was not what we agreed in Aburi. Since you are now saying you are not going to restructure and Igbo people were being slaughtered in the north, there was never any glorious decade in the history of the zoo. Never. Ojukwu said, I will now create a safe haven for persecuted people in the northeasterners to come back home. And that time, everybody was in this agreement together. Efik, Ibibio, everybody was represented in Ojukwu's cabinet. The man that suggested that the name Biafra should be used was an Ijo man. An Ijo man. Ijo is on Chief Frank Opigo. An Ijo man. So when people talk about Biafra, Ojukwu's Biafra, they will never tell you is Ijo Biafra. They will never tell you he was an Ijo man. Ijo. That said to Ojukwu, our original name is Biafra. And Ojukwu adopted it. Then the propaganda started flying. Sadly, from our Yoruba brethren. Then, very sadly, the lies began. The same lies that they were peddling that led them to label IPOB as a terrorist organization. But people occupying Yoruba forests, people raping and killing in Izombe, people raping and killing at Ozowan, people brazenly attempting to take over the whole of Benue State, they are not terrorists. I want people to, at least those that still have some measure of conscience, to understand what I'm saying. People who are raping and killing you, they're not terrorists. They are not proscribed, no. They are normal. You negotiate with them. You talk to them. You parley with them. But IPOB that is championing the freedom of everybody in Nigeria, I said everybody. Sometimes people misunderstand what we are doing. Biafra is a vehicle with which we are going to liberate everybody, including ethnic minorities in Sokoto, in Katsina, in Bauchi. Only Biafra can save you. Why am I saying this? And I want you to listen very carefully, please, and note what I'm saying down. Fortunately, the people of the South are gifted with a sense of responsibility, and if things doesn't work out, rebellion. If we stay in one Nigeria, for instance, let's say we collapse IPOB and the Oduduwa movement were to stop, do you think that any minority in the Fulani conquered North will be able to rise up to challenge them? If the answer is no, then other people who must do it, those who are able should do it. That is why IPOB, this Biafra movement, needs the support of everybody. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if you're from Kanu. It doesn't. Once you are suffering within Nigeria, you need IPOB and you need Biafra. More than Biafra needs you. Because if we stop, let's say we collapse IPOB tonight and stop our agitation, how are you going to get electricity in your lifetime? How are you ever going to get good roads? How will you ever hold your corrupt and inept politicians responsible? And more importantly, how are you going to stop Fulanis from taking over your ancestral lands? How? Just tell me. A few days ago, I said something very, very poignant. I said, if you want to remain in one Nigeria, I'm not begrudging you, but look at Hausa people. That is going to be your fate. You are going to be a people devoid of honor and integrity. You will only exist as a people. If at all, they will allow you to exist. Now you understand it. That is why we are doing what we are doing. We must cut out all the distortions, all the falsehoods, all the outright lies against what IPOB stands for. Anybody against IPOB is working for the politician. They are paid erats. Owasiwanya is a very spent force, somebody who made his entire existence on sabotaging his people. We love our elders. We respect them. If not that I'm a very, very discernible and sensible man, I would have thought that perhaps that Paya Debanjo has turned around to abandon truth, which I know and respect him for. Do you know that Paya Debanjo said, I am at one with Kanu? Yoruba media said, I am at war with Kanu. After doing my presentation during the Never Again 51 years remembrance of those that the zoo slaughtered and massacred, over 5 million people. After I finished speaking, Paya Debanjo asked to come back into the program to speak. He was allowed. He said, I am at one with Kanu. Fulani is the problem of Nigeria. The media wrote that Paya Debanjo said, I am at war with Kanu. These are the people who have been lying to you, telling you that we hate you, IPOB is too parochial, we hate everybody. And I'm saying, if we hate everybody, why was it that when I was at DSS, those who used to wash my clothes were kids they picked up from Sokoto, from Zamfara, and tagged them Boko Haram sympathizers, locked them up for, some of them for nearly 4 years. They used to wash my clothes. They used to fetch water for me. Boko Haram people. We started talking. They were the ones telling me, they told me every history about Muhammad Yusuf. They found out Boko Haram that the zoo police killed. You know, sometimes, you know that Nigeria even accused me once of supporting Boko Haram. Because I came and I made it very public that Boko Haram is the way it is today because of the wickedness of Nigerians. An average Nigerian is a very wicked animal, a wicked beast. Why do I say this? When Muhammad Yusuf was agitating for referendum, some of you don't know this, the Boko Haram founder was agitating for referendum in the northeast. The Nigerian police killed him. That was why they turned violent. But when you discuss the history of Boko Haram, people will say that terrorists, they are this, that. But it was the Nigerian state that inflicted terrorism on these very poor people. That was why they took up arms. That is a fact. Castigate Boko Haram all you like. Cast aspersions all you like. Say whatever you want to say against them. It was your docility. You were there. Nigerian police went and killed a man that hasn't killed anybody. Today they're holding El-Zakzaky. Holding him. Tomorrow now, when El-Zakzaky dies in custody, and another front will be opened up with Shia Muslims in the north, all of you will start yapping as usual, terrorist group, terrorist. But now that El-Zakzaky is suffering injustice, all of you are quiet. The only time I'm speaking the truth, you know me, I speak the truth always. I don't give a damn who is upset or who isn't. Have you noticed something? The same thing now that Yoruba media is saying that, of course, I love Sunday Igboho very well. He's doing a very fantastic job, and I will keep supporting him. Do you see the way the Yoruba media are reporting their own people? Do you see how they're writing about every second, every minute, every second, every minute? Because he is Yoruba. And the media in Nigeria is controlled by Yoruba people. And now I'm asking myself, what is the difference between what Sunday is fighting for, what Muhammad Yusuf was fighting for before they killed him, and what NNAMDI Kanu is fighting for? No difference. Follow me very carefully, please. I'm not saying that I condone or tolerate the excesses of Boko Haram bombing and killing people. I completely reject and condemn it. But there is no difference. Yoruba will never promote anybody outside their tribe. They are journalists I'm talking about. Never. Because somehow they feel that the coming of Biafra will somehow disadvantage them. I don't know why. Or is it because somebody somewhere is desperately trying to become the president of the damnable zoological republic? I have no idea. But I want you to pay attention this evening. Ask yourself this question. What is it that Sunday Iwoho is doing that is different from what IPOB is doing? What's the difference? They'll say, oh no, because he's not advocating for the breakup of the country. Because we see a million miles ahead than any other person. Why am I saying this? Do you know when Ojukwu saw that only restructuring could save Nigeria? Only restructuring. 52 years ago. 52 years ago. 52 years ago. I want the world to understand that this is a gift that God gave to Biafran people. The gift of vision, to be able to see things before they happen. And I am very glad to say, and with every sense of humility, I hasten to add, that I also possess the same gift as Elohim gave to our eternal leader. I have the same gift. I need you to understand this very, very carefully. I also have the same gift. And you ask yourself this very simple question. Why was it that something Ojukwu saw, not did he only see it, he negotiated for a restructured Nigeria what do I mean by 50? 54 years ago, 53, 54 years ago. Only now, they are now asking for the same thing. 54 years ago, they killed 5 million Biafrans because of it. The same thing they killed 5 million Biafrans because of, now they are begging to have it. And the thing is, why must all of us be begging Fulani for restructuring? Why must all of us be begging them for referendum? Why? Are they God? Are they holding the key to our lives? Why must we are begging? Every time we are begging them, oh please, can you restructure? Oh please, can you give us? Every time, please. Who are these people that we keep begging them? And I will tell you to go through your elected representatives. They tell you to go through your politicians. But one thing you don't understand is this. They are the ones that allowed the INEC that they control to bring those people forward as your political leaders. So they control them. That is a fact. Now, if you want to remain in perpetual slavery and poverty, do not support IPOB and what we are doing. But if you want to, sometimes people think that I'll give you a very simple example. China is blessed. They are doing well all over the world. The economy is booming. I think now they're number one, I believe, in the whole world in terms of economy, and they're number two in terms of military might. That is their blessing. No one can take it away from them. Do you understand? No amount of jealousy can change it. If out of jealousy, or you believe that Biafra is going to be one very beautiful nation in Africa, and because of that, you're not going to support them, you are doing yourself a disfavor. Because there's a way we say it where we come from. If you're suffering, we are also suffering. Everybody's suffering. And let me ask you, which other people do you think will have the courage to do what Biafrans have been doing for the past, say, 54 years? Which other people in Nigeria, I'm asking you, can do it? There is nothing envy or jealousy can do for you. You can be jealous from now till the kingdom come. It cannot remove God's blessing and grace upon a people.